bitch niggas better aim your boy elevate. I need 6 figure money, won't have a fuck saying hella money. Fuck boy, I been on dummy, shooting hella ops, make them no day. If I ain't big killers, mama, make them feel this rap in the hella way. I throw shot with a dollar, you was just watch they swim away. I don't stop shooting till they down and yo, that's dropping, then I skid away. This a hollow, then I skid away. This a hollow.
Yo, man, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Everything 414 Podcast. How everybody doing out there, man? Good, great. I'm glad y'all doing good. I got a video for y'all ass today. Hey, every day I got a video. I'm telling you, and there's always some great. Of course, there's always some great. I'm coming out with some of the most positive shit every time, right? But this video particularly is about, are you connected with God? Are you connected with that spiritual side of yourself? Are you tapped in with the higher forces? Like some of y'all say you is, and then some of y'all, I'm not sure. You know, I really don't be thinking y'all do be tapped in with the higher source. But anyway, we have here on Lewis House channel, Lewis House podcast. Shout out to Lewis House, man, one of the best podcasters out there. We have a young lady, you know, and she's gonna go deep on, you know, the brain and God and connectivity and everything, so forth. And I want y'all to tap in with me and watch this, like I said, because it's a great podcast video with Dr. Lisa Miller. Y'all see, I had to open that up and get her name. You see? So let's dive into this. Let's hear what Dr. Lisa Miller, you know, explains to us about the connectivity with God and your mind and your consciousness and how everything operates and how it all works. Gang. Let's dive.
We have done 10 years of MRI studies through which we've found very specific circuits in the brain true to every single human being on Earth. And they show us that we are built to receive and perceive a relationship to our higher power. Specifically, there are 3 circuits in the brain. We all have these 3 circuits. The first.
She is a psychologist, a New York Times bestselling author, and one of the world's leading researchers at the intersection of neuroscience and spirituality. Please welcome Dr. Lisa Miller.
You can choose this very moment to activate your awakened brain. It is right there, a 1/4 inch under the surface, built and ready to go. Everyone has this equipment. So then it's a choice, and you alone can cultivate your own awakened awareness.
If someone doesn't have a relationship to God, what happens to their brain, or what do you see in MRI studies or research in that person's brain?
Lewis, it's such an important point.
If someone wants to create or manifest a new reality for themselves, what is it that your research has revealed about the connection between our brains and spirituality that would surprise a lot of people?
There's 2 things that we all need to know. The first is that every one of us is born a naturally spiritual person with a brain hardwired for spiritual awareness. Built into our brain from day one are circuits through which we can perceive the transcendent presence. My word is God. Everyone has their own sacred word.
Yes.
Jesus, Hashem, the universe, Krishna, whatever one's sacred word may be. We are built, literally, Lewis, wired in our brain to be able to have a transcendent relationship with our higher power. That relationship is real. It is built into the fabric of who we are so that we can perceive the reality of the world as it's truly built.
Is that built into our brains? Is it into our heart, our nervous system? Is it into our soul? Like, what is the research sharing or revealing about?
Good question. You know, because you can tell when it's
10
real.
years of MRI
Me
studies.
personally, I can tell when it's real. I can feel it in here. You can feel it in your chest, your soul. You know, when anything is real, that's where you can feel it at usually. And I think right now, a lot of people is understanding that God is real, man. You know, that our creator, our higher power is real. That, you know, they actually do exist and they are actually helping us. You know what I'm saying? In the best shape, form, or fashion. Some of y'all that's disbelievers, y'all been made believers. You know, recently, a lot of y'all probably has been turned into believers, true believers, behind things and scenarios that has taken place in your life. And at the end of the day, you know, it opened your mind up for something new. You're like, whoa, wait, hold up, wait. I didn't think the God was real. I was an atheist at first. I didn't believe in that. I needed a blood sample. No, my boy, no, baby boo. All you got to do is just understand that, yes, it's real. It's, you know, we got a higher power. We got a higher creator. And yes, they are watching us closely. They are watching us closely. They are making sure we make all the right steps and moves. You better believe that. Let's keep.
Which we found very specific circuits in the brain, true to every single human being on earth. And they show us that we are built to receive and perceive a relationship to our higher power.
Really? Does that higher power mean whatever that word is for you, God or universe or whatever that is?
It's whatever your word may be as it applies to the deep, loving, guiding presence in life.
Is it our higher selves or our creator?
It is our creator.
Okay.
It is our creator.
Interesting. So,
and it's not just something bigger than ourselves, because something bigger than ourselves could be something unfortunate, like a cult or an extremist group. That's bigger than ourselves. This is something loving, guiding, and ever present.
And the MRIs reveal this? Like, how does it show this?
MRIs show that we are built to perceive a loving, holding, guiding creator.
Wow.
Specifically, there are 3 circuits in the brain. We all have these 3 circuits. The first is the bonding network, which lets us know that we are loved and held, just as we were loved and held as children in our parents' arms. The second is a shift in our attention network from the narrow, task-driven, gotta have it, gotta get it, dorsal attention, to the big view of the ventral attention network. The lights come back on and a new direction pops. We receive guidance. We are loved, held, we are guided. And the third core component of the spiritual brain is the parietal that puts in and out hard boundaries so that we know that Lewis is in this chair and Lisa's in the other, and we have friends at all different GPS coordinates. We are a point and we are a wave. We are unique and we're part of one family of life, the greater oneness. Loved, held, guided, and never alone. The 3 circuits in our brain that allow us to see that we are loved, held, guided, and never alone map onto the reality of a creator who is all loving, all knowing, and all present.
If someone doesn't have a relationship to God or their creator that is all loving, all knowing, all.
And the way she bust that down, man, I never heard nobody explain that right there like that, you know. And then she said these are 3 neurons in our brain that lets us know this, that we have a creator, a higher power. That's why studying yourself, studying your own mind, your biology is one of the best things to me ever in life. I'm not gonna lie, even way back in the days, in the ancient days when the ancient people was figuring out these type of technologies and they was using these skills and they was studying astrology, they was able to point you in whichever direction that they knew resource was, just from based off looking at the stars or looking at the planets and the way they align. You know, I think that was one of the most intelligentest things ever in history, and I think that's still to this day one of the greatest and intelligentest things ever in history, you know, that took place. Right now today, you can find nobody around here in my hood, your hood, in 2026 to do that. Right now today, on my block and your block, I bet you can't nobody even tell us how many fucking neurons we got in our brain or what core, you know, connections are within our mindsets or our brains that can connect us to a higher power. I guarantee it. You know what I'm saying? That's scary. That's scary. And the reason it's scary because nobody around me know nothing about no higher power. That's what that means. That means none one of you motherfuckers know anything about your higher power. You don't know nothing about achieving your higher self. You don't want to achieve your higher self. You feel me? Like, you scared. You probably one of them scary motherfuckers. That's why you don't know nothing about it. But I think when we connect ourselves to God, it shows a miraculous change. It shows a miracle in change. It shows that once we find ourselves connecting to what we feel as a higher power over us, that amazing things happen, phenomenons happen. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about get to the point where people get saved. People could almost lose their life in the moment they put that belief in God, another creator, another phenomenon, another entity that's higher than us. Oh Lord, shit! I'm talking about amazing things start taking place, gang, for real. Amazing thing. So, let's keep going. I want to know what she finna say about people who don't got God in their life, people who don't believe in God, or people who maybe even disabandon God, like push them to the side, like, you know what, fuck you, God, I'm done with you. You feel me? These motherfuckers, that's what they finna pop on right now. I want to hear this.
And they don't believe in that.
Yeah.
What happens to their brain, or what do you see in MRI studies or research in that person's brain?
So, Louis, it's such an important point. We are all built not just to believe, but to perceive a loving, guiding, present creator. So if we don't, right, which is fine, right, that opportunity still exists within us. Nobody has been this is how we're built. So if I don't feel the presence, it's simply a matter of building the muscle. In the same way that we might have physical fitness for the physical core, we can have spiritual fitness for the spiritual core, practicing awakening. This can be prayer, meditation. It can be reflective reading or teachings, introspection, a deep connection to the divinity through nature. Whatever our pathway, it leads us to the same place.
I feel like there's a lot of disconnected people in the world right now that are distracted by things that are not connecting them to source, to God, to their creator. And their ability to perceive that experience with God is diminished. And maybe it doesn't even feel like it's there at all. What actually changes inside of the brain for someone when they activate their awakened brain versus living disconnected?
You can choose this very moment to activate your awakened brain. It is right there, a quarter inch under the surface, built and ready to go. Everyone has this equipment. So then it's a choice. It's a choice. Because while the awakened brain is inborn, it is 1/3 innate, 2/3 cultivated. And you alone can cultivate your own awakened awareness in the same way that you alone can build your muscles and build your stamina and cultivate your temperament. You alone can build your birthright.
If someone has been very disconnected from that ability to perceive or feel God's presence or the creator's presence, what are a few things they can do right now to start activating that connection?
Good.
Yo,
if there is from your past an old rusty prayer that spoke to you at one point, I invite you to dust that off. And it might be awkward the first.
I hate StreamYard freezing and shit. Fuck wrong with y'all, StreamYard? Off the topic. I seen a video yesterday. I'm trying to remember the name of it exactly, y'all, because I don't want to butcher it. I want to give y'all exactly the correct info. But anyway, I seen a video. I believe it was a guy. He was explaining that your soul already knows which, well, of course, your soul choose the family you want to go to when they get reincarnated. But he was explaining that the soul comes in the body when it wants to, meaning that the soul even lingers outside of the body that is going to choose before the parents get pregnant. He said it went back to the reincarnation thing. I think it was one of the Indian guys who do deep studies on spirituality and reincarnation and things like that. But he said the soul will hover outside the body. The soul even visit the parents' house before the parents get pregnant. So the soul will visit the parents' house that they want to get in, that they want to be part of and help. And the parents don't even know, that this before they even make love to make the baby. The soul is there already. And it blew me. The man said, yeah, because remember, energy never dies, which is true. Your soul is energy. So due to the fact energy never dies, the soul is wondering, is waiting on a body or a vessel so it can get into and help the family of that vessel, help them beat certain trials and tribulations. When he said that fucked me up. I was like, wait, what the fuck? I already knew about the reincarnation part because I seen another doctor. She was saying she'd been studying death and coming back to life for over 25 years. And she said she found out that it takes, I think, about 100 years for somebody's soul to come back into another body, or 1,000 years, maybe. I'm not sure. But that blew me too. I was like, wait, what? You mean to tell me death ain't shit? Yeah, and that's why everybody keeps saying death ain't real and time ain't real. At the end of the day, because that soul got to come back. The soul within these bodies cannot die. That's energy. And in the Bible, it said energy can't die, nor can it be recreated. So what that tells y'all, once we leave this body, what do that tell you? We floating around somewhere. Whether it's waiting to come back into another body, or whether it's waiting to ascend to another realm and finish those duties, and not in a physical form, but in a spiritual form, in a spiritual sense.
Even the second, but very quickly, if as a child you prayed, you paved the road, effectively myelinated the pathway in your brain to get back to your childhood gift, which we all have, of a relationship to the Creator. Now, if no one ever sat by your side, and that has happened, some people have never been taught to meditate or pray. Some people have never heard a word from a parent or grandparent. You still have the wiring in your brain to awaken. So shall we do a practice?
Sure.
Okay. This is a practice which is in the language of life, and it maps on quite specifically to the awakened brain. It is my favorite practice because it engages.
All right, y'all. Hey, look, we're doing this practice with her, y'all. So everybody watching this video, we finna do this practice. She said it's her favorite practice. It's an awakening practice. So motherfucker, you're gonna sit there and we're gonna wait. All right, let's do this shit.
Ages, loved, held, guided, and never alone. Okay? Okay, good. This is a practice I like to thank my teacher from the late Dr. Gary Weaver. Okay. I invite you to take 5 breaths, clear out your inner space. I invite you to set before you a table. This is your table. And to your table, you may invite anyone, living or deceased, who truly has your best interest in mind. Anyone living or deceased who truly has your best interest in mind. And now you may invite your higher self, the part of you that is so much more than anything you may have or not have, anything you may have done or not done, your true eternal higher self. And ask you if you love you. And now finally, you may invite your higher power, whatever your word, however you know, your higher power, and ask if they love you. And now with all of these people sitting here right now, what do they need to share? What do you need to know? What do they need to tell you now? When you're ready, I invite you back.
I remember this exercise. Yeah. It's powerful. It's like entering another world. It's very powerful.
Were you moved by who came?
Yeah. It's my parents. And my father passed away, so he was there. My grandparents. And my grandparents that I never met, who are, only wanted to see their kids and their grandkids do well in life. God and my higher power, my highest version of me, I guess. And there was 2 things that I was just feeling that they were saying and that I was saying to myself, which is, there's 2 words. One was forgiveness of everything from the past, which I feel like I've already done that. So I think it's just a consistent way of being to live in forgiveness of everything I've done or other people have done and be at peace of the past, right? Not be naive, but forgive and continue to forgive. I think life is a journey of probably forgiving. And the second word was love. It's continue to do everything from a loving space. And so those were the 2 words, but it just felt very powerful because I felt like this pulsating, and it's almost like it's your
That's the key, man. That's the key to love, man. You got to do everything out of love, out of the love intention. You know, doing anything else out of any other intention, gang, it sort of cause a negative ripple on your reality in life. No bullshit. It causes a negative ripple on reality in life. You know, if you do things out of hate, out of spite, out of anger, it causes a negative ripple on your reality in life. And I can understand what he's saying. So now when I just did mine, I invited my dad, you know what I'm saying? Because he to me, I know in my mind, he had the best interest for me. You feel me? In my mind, you know, he always used to push me. He always used to tell me I can do it. He always used to tell me, and it was at the times people used to always tell me I wasn't gonna be nothing, wasn't gonna do nothing. Oh, I just want to sit around this, that. My dad used to always say, you know, don't listen to them. You're gonna be better than them. You're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. So he was there, of course, my higher self. You feel me? I only had 3 people. My higher self, me, and God was like, God was the one hosting the whole thing. And Baba, I ain't fishing. God is the host of the whole, you know, the get together. And I asked them, did they love me? And they said, yeah, hell yeah, you know, we love you. Keep going. And that's exactly what I heard. I think that's what my pops would have said, though, most definitely. I think too that if you ain't connected with God, man, you do tend to have a hard time, you know, understanding things. You have a hard time discerning, because in the Bible said you need to be able to discern. You got to have the skills to discern. And what that means is you got to be able to have the skills to tell if somebody pissed in a cup and gave it to you, said this lemonade. You got to be able to have the discernment to be able to discern that's not fucking lemonade. First off, I can fucking smell it. Second off, it's fucking hot. Third off, lemonade don't look like this. That's discernment. That's when you are aware, you feel me, that you are being skedaddled, or you are aware that somebody is trying to play a trick on you. That's discernment. Some people ain't got that. And when you know, like God in your life, you do not have that. It was some young boys I remember used to live in the projects with us on 17th and Highland. Little Nick them, and I remember Nick, dog. You know, Nick them used to be on medication. His dad really didn't get 2 fucks, because at the end of the day, the dad was only focused on bitches. He really ain't care about the boys. And then the boys, they had a sister too. I think like 2 sisters that lived there. But the boys, they fucked up in the head. Like he wouldn't get them geared up. He wasn't nothing. I'm talking about nothing. It was crazy. But he running around. I'm talking about balling out. He buying cars. He pulling up like this, that, and that. And at the end of the day, I seen my boy Nick like recently, like a couple months ago, man. He like, dude, not judging him, but he all out of whack. And I'm like, damn, if he would have had somebody in his life helping him, bro, he would have been looking better, doing better. He'd have felt better about himself. All you have to do is speak a little courage into him, speak a little motivation into him, like 3-4 days in a row. He gonna feel good. He gonna love himself. And that's what we need to do around here. Like, you know, but see, if you ain't got the people with you, no friends or family, though, God to do it for you. All you gotta do is go to your guy. He gonna do that. He gonna do whatever the friends and family can't do for you. You understand what I'm saying? So I once I recognize that shit, that's my everyday go-to. And I ain't go to him like I ain't finna be out here and open, oh Lord Jesus, tell me. No, I had that conversation with him in my head right away. And then therefore I get all my answers in the quickest way. You know what I'm saying? So just like that with the practice we just did, you know. So
of higher, you know, awareness kind of pulsating together and connecting to your brain, I guess, and to your heart when you breathe and you think in that way and you see these people in your table, you know. So it's having this higher counsel guide you is a very powerful exercise. And I can only imagine if people did that on a consistent basis, how it would bring them back into presence to be able to perceive and feel what they need to feel and act and be in a certain way of being.
You know, have an ongoing dialogue
of course.
With your counsel.
Right, yeah.
With your ancestors, with your higher power. Everybody's always there.
Yes.
They're right there.
Mm-hmm. It's a very peaceful feeling, you know.
Did you feel great love?
Of course, yeah. I still feel it, yeah. It's very peaceful, just relaxing, and it's like a journey. You know, you're going on this journey, even if it's for a few moments. So that's a beautiful exercise. Have you studied under MRI when people do that exercise or other types?
To me, it's like a peace journey. It is. It's like a peace journey, gang. I can't lie to you. And knowing that you're on this peace journey, knowing that you got all the answers already, your higher self or your inner self, I should say. Sometimes when you ask your inner self a question, you know, one thing that always happen, gang, and I ain't gonna lie to you, your mind always answer, don't it? Your minds do. I say, inner self, tell me where I need to go. Right away, my big head ass brain jump in like, what you mean? You need to go home. You need to go do the dishes. You got to go shut the fuck up. That's what you need to do. I'm not talking to you. I'm speaking to my higher. And that's the shit you be having to tell that motherfucker. That's the ego. That's the ego. For those of y'all that don't know, when you do your studies on biology, your ego takes over. Your ego is the person that give you the character. Oh, I'm this person. I'm that person. Oh, I'm scared. Or I'm this. That's your ego. That's your ego, because I'm gonna tell you something. When you came in this world as a baby, you didn't have that ego. You didn't know what the ego was. So you wasn't scared, fearful. You wasn't excited, hungry. None of that shit. You was a straight soul. You was there observing. You was there what God was doing. He put himself, you feel me, in us to experience and forget and remember all over again. And that's what we doing. Right now, we're remembering all over again who we once was. We're remembering all over again that we are more than human. We remember all over again that, hey, yo, if we got God in our life, then we understand that we really didn't just come from this planet. We came from the universe, because God is the universe and he is everything. So I'm like, yo, with that being said and known, goddamn it, you ain't got no choice but to dig into God. You ain't got no choice but to figure out who your big homie is. And everybody might call him something different. Buddha, the Catholics call him Jesus. You got the other people over there in the Middle East or wherever they call him some more shit. But at the end of the day, he's still the same God, or she's still the same God, or it, whatever it is, because we can't even put a gender on it, right? You can't put a gender on something. If you put a gender on your God fake as hell. I don't know where that motherfucker come from. You need to take that bitch back to the corner. So if your motherfucker God came with a girl or a boy type of title, take that bitch and put that motherfucker back in that little bubblegum machine where you put the quarters in, you twist it real hard, put that motherfucker back in there. It's fake. It's fake, trust me. You hear me? Because my God is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. You hear me? My God is up and down and bigger than the universe at the same time, because my God is the universe. So at the end of the day, man, I love y'all. You want more of that video, you got to go over to the Lewis House podcast, like I told y'all before. And that was Dr. Lisa Miller. You feel me? Y'all give her another round of applause, please. Thank you. At the end of the day, man, I love y'all. Y'all make sure y'all keep your head up, stay safe, stay out the way, stay prayed up. You feel me? Try to connect with God, try to connect with your spiritual self, and dive deep on your inner self and search. You feel me? Understand your emotions, understand what triggers you, understand what leads you to doing what you do, understands what leads you to being peaceful and, you know, helpful and all the above. Anyway, I am out, gang. Pay attention. Share this video.
The gang, them grew up in piling. Couple of groupies to fit with. High, no turbulence, vibing. Higher than you niggas getting. Flying while you niggas flyless. Your kind is scooter dependent. I come something new when I'm driving. Driving off the roof, no ceilings. Got a skyline view when I'm riding.